All right, so a couple things. I've got to address this because when we have a situation where someone who is a thought leader, someone who is a respected voice in the financial community, saying things that are pretty drastic, nationally respected, by the way, we have to address them, especially if they're way off base and make absolutely no sense. When I say, has Suze Orman lost her mind, I'm being serious, kind of. So I'm actually wondering, what in the world is she talking about here? Let's take a look at what she wrote on her Facebook page. This is yesterday. As you can see, just 22 hours ago. She said, many of you are asking if you should buy a home right now. There's so much more to think about right now than getting a great deal and locking in low interest rates. Yeah, because who wants to get a great deal and lock in a low interest rate? I mean, what idiot wants to get a great deal and lock in a low interest rate? Morons you are. Freaking morons. Oh my gosh. You need to think about whether the value of that home is going to hold. If the neighbors next to you all of a sudden have a foreclosure and sell. And she didn't spell the word foreclosure correctly. She said all of a sudden have to foreclose and sell. Sorry. So she said that would impact your property value. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? No, I actually don't understand what you're saying. I'm pretty well versed in this stuff. Let me tell you why I don't understand what you're saying. Because everyone who's in the industry or knows anything about real estate knows that when a home forecloses, first of all, usually who is it sold to? Because remember, when there's a foreclosure, the home is sold. When the home forecloses, that doesn't cause a new comp. There's no sales price. When it forecloses, it just forecloses. The bank just takes it over. They own it. It's only going to hurt you potentially when it resells. Now, if it resells as a distressed sale, okay, it's a foreclosure sale or a short sale, then it's not really a comp, is it? Because an appraiser will tell you, if I'm looking at comps, I have to look at the ones that are most similar as possible. Well, if you're selling your home as a non-foreclosure or non-short sale, and this home was sold as a foreclosure or short sale, not a very good comp. Even if it's the same home, it's not the same situation, it's not the same circumstance. Appraisers know this, and anyone in the industry also knows this. And I'm very surprised that Suze Orman is not one of the people who knows this. She even says, do you understand what I'm saying? Do you? Do you understand? If you're afraid, if you have any doubt about buying, I wouldn't be doing it. Just slow down. Your real estate agent might tell you to go through with it, but don't be afraid to walk away from something if your gut doesn't want you to go through with it. Well, here's the trouble with that. When does your gut, when someone's getting a great deal on a home, what is your gut usually saying? You're scared shitless. Because if you're buying and you're actually getting a good deal, it's at a time when things aren't really certain. If you want things to be great before you pull the trigger on buying, you're going to rent for 3 or 5 years, finally go, oh yeah, prices are going up constantly. Let me go ahead and get in and buy. And that's not the better time to buy. This is the exact opposite advice that I would give to anyone for 2 main reasons. Number 1, low interest rates and great deals are good. So despite what she has said here, there's so much more to think about right now than getting a great deal and locking in low interest rates. Really, what else is there to think about? Homes are flying off the shelves. There are certain areas where we're seeing foreclosures pop up. What she's talking about is she's saying she's concerned about, hey, there's people who are on forbearance. There's people whose unemployment's going to run out. There's people who are going to run out of money and they're going to start foreclosing on their homes. Is that possible? Absolutely. We have tens of millions of unemployed people. However, we're seeing millions and millions of people every week are going back in the workforce. So is there enough time? That's what my entire time I've been talking about this, by Derrick Evans, NMLS 155010. I've been talking about this. The main thing we have to look at is how much time are we in the bad spot? Because you really have to be there for a long time in order for foreclosures to happen and for real estate to get hurt. If it's a short window, it won't be enough time for all that to happen, especially with the pent-up demand that we have right now. So when she's talking about it, she's saying, well, these homes are going to start foreclosing left and right. Forbearances are up. People can't make their payments. Foreclosures are coming. It's the same stuff you've been hearing me and Serpa talk about the last couple times we've debated, argued, whatever. Serpa and I like to talk. So is that what's happening? Well, just the way that she's framed this information, by first of all telling you that there's more to buying real estate than getting a great deal and locking in low interest rates, well, what else is there then? Tell me, what else is there that's more important when buying real estate than getting a great deal and locking in low interest rates? Oh, you mean I should be worried about whether my value will hold? Who cares? Who cares if I'm not going to sell? It doesn't even matter. And if you're buying real estate to flip it, if you're trying to sell it next week or next year or in the next 2 years, then yeah, you're always going to have a huge question mark and cloud over your head. You're never going to feel 100% confident that the value is going to go up in 1 to 2 years, no matter what's going on. If you have a long-term outlook, in other words, if you're buying real estate appropriately, the right way, to keep it, to have it for the long run, then you will always win. You always have. Because it's always gone up over time and it always will. Remember the macroeconomics here. Limited supply, exponentially increasing demand. The population is exponentially increasing. The amount of land is finite. And people say, oh, well, you can build up. It's three-dimensional. You can, but not everywhere. It's not going to happen. In fact, what we're seeing right now is more demand for homes in the outskirts. There was an article published recently. I should have saved that for this particular segment. But they were talking about how people are paying through the nose for country properties because everyone wants to get away from everyone. So if you think that the solutions are going to build up, people don't want that. But look what downtown San Diego's gone through. I mean, over the course of the last 15, 20 years, trying to make that happen. Not that it's bad in downtown San Diego, but they're still trying to make it work. Like, how many of those buildings are 100% occupancy? How many? So that ain't the solution. So when we're talking about getting a good deal and getting a low interest rate, if you have a long-term outlook, what more could you ask for? Hey, well, what if my house goes down in value after I buy it? Who gives a shit? If you're making the payment and you're comfortable with the payment, who cares? All that's going to happen is your taxes are going to go down, which means your payment's going to go down, even if your rate stays the same. If your real estate value really goes down, if that's what really happens, then you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You can still make your payment. Your real estate taxes will go down when the new assessment comes out, and you can request a new assessment if you think the value's gone down. I don't know if you have to pay anything for that or not. San Diego County, they may start charging. I don't know. But if that happens, you're still going to be okay. And that's if that happens. Remember, big if. Big if. There was more posts that she made, by the way, and you can go to her page and check it out. There was one where she was talking about people and forbearance and all these things that are going to happen and how it's not such a good idea. Now she's talking about, well, your real estate agent's going to tell you that you should go through with this, but don't be afraid to walk away. You should never be afraid to walk away. The art of the deal. The best negotiating tactic is always to never be afraid to walk away. In fact, tell them, you know what, I'm probably going to walk away. It's a great negotiating tactic. Right now, what will happen if you tell sellers, well, we're going to walk away? They'll say, see you later. GTFO. We have enough offers here. We don't need you. And that's the way it's been now for months, the entire COVID time, the entire time this has been going on. We're desperate for inventory. So you're telling me, you as the buyer are going to go, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and take the guaranteed loss that comes with renting. Yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take the guaranteed loss because I think there's more than getting a great deal and getting low interest rates. What a bunch of baloney. Anyway, speaking of interest rates, hey-yo! We're having a great day. I hope I don't jinx it. Market's not closed yet. Won't have time to do this video later, so I had to do it right now. And I want to keep you as informed of what's going on, and what's going on is lots of good things. So remember, we were looking here at this beautiful formation after we touched this resistance point here, and we kind of had a little retreat back to the averages. What happened since here has been beautiful. This is the best action you'll ever see. Just perfectly right up again, touching this. So we touched it twice, right? They call this knocking on the door. So we knocked on the door the first time right here. We knocked on this resistance level, 104.28. And this is mortgage bonds. So remember, mortgage bonds go up means that interest rates go down. So remember that correlation here. So what we're seeing here is just a slow and steady, which is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then we go and we knock on the door again. Okay. Then we get a lock alert from Barry here. By the way, Barry, I'm 2 for 2 on you the last couple here. He issued a lock alert here. Not a terrible time to lock. Not a terrible time. These are one-day charts. This was a few days ago. And it was going into holiday weekend, so I don't blame him. But as you can see here, we've had 2 big days in a row. We knocked on the door again, and this time we got through. And we're now at the highest point. So this is where the highest point the mortgage bonds have been since, well, all year. So since we've seen all the different things that have taken place this year, since we've seen what's happened in the mortgage industry with rates dropping, big refi boom and stuff like that, rates are now back to that point. They're now back to that point. Again, at the all-time highs for the 2.5% coupon mortgage bonds, which is what we're looking at here, all-time highs, again. And, we're starting to see it be more reflective in the rate sheet, which it hasn't been always. And that's one of the things that's been a big, WTF for a lot of loan officers. It's like, hey, what's going on here? Well, banks have demand. they don't need to give you the full thing. They can keep some for their pocketbook because they got hit with forbearance and a bunch of crap and had to spend a bunch of money, and the hedge got blown out by the Federal Reserve. They had a lot of reasons, and it all makes sense. Point being here, we've got great action, and now it's looking like we're going to bust through and create new all-time highs. And remember when I did the video and I said, hey, are 1% mortgage rates possible? Could it happen? Could it be done? It is possible, and this is what it looks like. The Dow is down. I forgot to put the stock market up here today, but the Dow is down 300 points today. Or at least that's what it was heading the last few minutes. I haven't looked at it. But down 300 points means, hey, we get some relief. We see some money flow into bonds. That was the perfect storm I was talking about. If the stock market can continue to come in, we'll continue to make new highs in mortgage bonds and see rates drop lower. New coupons will continue to get issued. We're at the 2.5 now. We'll be looking at the 2% next. It'll just keep happening, and that's how rates go down. That's how we could get into the ones. If the 2% coupon comes out and sells for over 100 par, then it's going to be in the ones for the yield. And that's going to signal the potential for getting into the ones for mortgage rates. So it's possible. Now, will that happen? We don't know. Who knows? My point is the formation and what's taking place so far is what it would take to get there. Whether it will or not, we don't know. Nobody does. But it looks good. It looks really, really good. And for home buyers out there who may have been discouraged by either people like this who are supposed to know what they're talking about, but as it turns out, maybe they don't, because they're saying things that make no sense. Like when you buy real estate, there's more to think about than getting a great deal and locking in low interest rates. There's more to think about than that, which is interesting because I have always thought that the only two things that matter when buying real estate is getting a great deal and locking in a low interest rate. Because great deal encompasses a lot of things. And low interest rate helps with a lot of things. So I'm not the type of person to normally just pick apart someone's statements, but she's been posting stuff the last couple days, all complete nonsense. I don't know what her agenda is, but she clearly has one. Maybe she's just taking the safe route, which is, hey, tell people this in case it gets bad so I can say, hey, remember when I said back here, be careful? People do that a lot. I know in the radio days, I did that a lot. I would make these bold predictions about different games and stuff. And you know what? It was part of the gig. Like, we would make huge predictions about 5 different things, and 1 or 2 of them would come true, and those are the ones we would replay the next week. Like, I know how this game works. I was in the media biz. I still am, I guess, technically. But the reality is this. Getting a great deal and getting a good interest rate, a low interest rate, historically low interest rate, is what the real estate game is all about. Having a long-term outlook is how you avoid all of the mishmash, wishy-washy horseshit like this that you see out there. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to have good timing. You don't have to be smarter than someone else. All you need to do is have time in the seat. If you buy the place and you own it long-term, you will win. That's it. So make a good game plan, get a good deal, lock in a low interest rate. I don't know. Do I have a lower third I can throw up here? I probably should do that. VA Home Loan Specialist, Derrick Evans, NMLS 155010. If you have questions about home loan, looking to buy a home, give me a call. I'm happy to help you with that. Listen, if you've watched my videos for a long time, I'll tell you if I think things are frothy. I will tell you if I think things need to be looked at more closely. Right now, it's not one of those times. In fact, we're going to see rates stay this low and potentially go lower. If anything, in my opinion, prices are going to go higher. Prices are going to go higher this year. Prices are going to go higher next year. Beyond that, it's hard to say. But in the near term, expect prices to go higher. Expect to continue to kick yourself if you're renting. And there you go. There it is. But Derrick, you're biased. You're in lending. You make money when people buy houses. Yeah, but who's calling? How many people who are watching this video are going to call me to buy a house? One? None? No, that's not what it's about. I believe in home ownership because it makes sense for a safe and secure retirement. If you are going to retire safely and securely, owning your own home is the number one way to do that. If you do nothing but pay off your home, if you save no money, no 401k, no couch money, no cash in the safe, nothing else, but you have a paid off home, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. All right? You'll have lots of options. You're going to be okay. If you don't do that, then I don't know. I hope your job, I hope you're able to work for a long time. I hope all that works out. But if you do, you'll be okay. And that's the reason I believe in home ownership, because it does work long term. It always has. and it always will. We have the numbers on our side. We have the macroeconomics on our side. And that's all I've got to say. Share this with your friends if you think it's helpful. I appreciate you paying attention. And I will continue to bring you more information as it becomes available. Sorry I had to get that off my chest.